How to Improve Absolutely Anything by Katie Labedz. Chapter 13, Map My Ride, Value Stream Mapping. Earlier in the book, we talked about three versions of a process. So let's review. Number one, the process that exists in a document. This could be the process description in your standard work instructions, visuals, or even on a recipe card. Number two, what the process looks like in your head. This is what you think is happening when you visualize the process. And version number three, the way the process actually works. This is what really happens when you put action to the instructions. Each of these versions of a process can be vastly different from the others. Let's look at a tool, what is really going on with the process. Have you ever used one of those apps on your phone that connects your GPS and gives you an overhead visual of your ride, your hike, your walk? It's kind of a neat tool to look at your journey from that perspective. And sometimes it doesn't look like anything you thought it should be. In a similar way, we can map out our process old school using the concepts of value stream mapping. But first, what's a value stream? A value stream is a series of actions to deliver value to the customer. For example, the process to create a quote for a customer is a value stream. The process to get to work every day is a value stream. The steps you take when you go for your doctor visit are a value stream. You get the point. How is value defined? Our customer defines value. Remember them? We realized who all of our customers were when we did a sidewalk. There are three types of value: value add, business non-value add, and non-value added activities. Value add is something that the customer is willing to pay for with real money or quote unquote funny money if they're internal customers. Value add changes the product, or in manufacturing, we would say that it changes form, fit, or function. And the value add is doing it right the first time. Now, doing it right the first time doesn't mean we're perfect. Heck no. It means we have a repeatable process with predictable results. Value add examples include shipping the product, successfully making product changes based on customer requirements, or even the process of making their favorite lunch for your hungry kids. Business non-value add happens when we have to do something for the customer due to requirements or regulations, but it doesn't make our final product any better. If you do work for the government, you know there's certain paperwork that you need to complete. It doesn't make your product any better, but if you don't complete it, you can't be a government contractor. Some could say that taxes are business non-value add, but I digress. Non-value added activities are those that utilizes resources but adds no value. These are otherwise known as waste. Remember the acronym downtime. All of these are from the customer's perspective, so the value is personal and subjective. You may find value in a part of the process, but perhaps I don't. The doctor's office seems to find value in asking for my insurance card every time I go for a visit, but I don't, at least not in the moment. You might find value in the Wine of the Month Club, but your mother thinks you're crazy for spending money on that subscription. Hello, Mom, live my life for a bit. In a value stream map, we physically map out the way our process actually works. We also indicate when there is waste and value add or not activities. At the end, we have a physical or virtual map depicting every single step in our process. There are several books that you can read on the proper way to create a value stream map. Go ahead, be curious, Google it now. I'll wait. Welcome back. Those look kind of scary, don't they? That's why I don't use the textbook value stream maps. People tend to get wrapped around the axle regarding the proper way to document the map, and what symbols to use. Listen, I'm not the value stream map police. No tickets issued here. I just like to keep it simple. A value stream map represents reality. The let's face it, this is broken reality. It's totally okay for your map to look like a mess. And it's totally okay if you discover your process has, can you guess? Over 95% waste. We make these maps to reveal opportunity for improvement. So we can start with what our baseline or reality looks like today. Start with a process or value stream that you want to improve. Dare we say the process that bugs you the most? Make sure it's relatable and the scope isn't too large. For example, we don't want to draw a value stream map from the process from receiving a customer order through shipment from a manufacturing company. We would be mapping for a really long time. But we can map the purchasing or quoting process. I know somebody who completed a value stream map for how they were currently loading their dishwasher. Yes, really, and no, it was not me. Let's go back to your scope. Where does the process in question begin and end in time? From the moment you load the dishes in the dishwasher until the cycle is complete, or when you put everything away? Assemble your team. You need some people to help you with your map. At a minimum in attendance, you need to have the person who works on the process and the person responsible for that process or value stream. Most managers don't know how to do their employees' jobs, and that isn't where they should be investing their time. So you want the folks that actually do the job, not their managers. It's also great to involve your customers and suppliers. An epiphany moment. This is why you did that SIPOC earlier. Dedicate time and space, physical or virtual, to get this done. Depending on the scope of what you're looking at, the process can take you anywhere from a few hours to a few days to complete. Try to get it done in one shot or in continuous sessions. If you have too much time between your sessions, you will waste time playing catch up as you review where you were before. Remember that you are essentially drawing the roadmap of your process, so we need some room to work. You need a whiteboard or a large piece of paper. Think butcher paper, or personally, I use Wizard Wall. Markers and pens, yellow sticky notes for ideas, and another color sticky note to designate waste. I usually use a bright color like red or pink. Remember, just two shapes, an oval and a diamond. If you're looking at the little detour Google Land a few paragraphs ago, then you know there are pages listing the correct symbols to use in a value stream map. But if you follow along with me, there's only two I need you to remember. Oval for the start and the end, and a diamond for a decision. That's it. Begin with the word start. Every value stream map begins with an oval with the word start inside of it. Don't skip this step. You'd be amazed how many I've seen that don't have a start. Write down each step. On your individual yellow sticky notes, write down each step in your process. Include the time required for that step. For example, if you're looking at a process that uses a specific system, the map could look like this. We have start, then log into the laptop. It takes a minute. Double click on a system icon that takes 0.5 minutes. Log into a system 1 minute. Stick with standard hours or minutes. Make sure you write down approximately how much time it takes you to complete each task, as we'll add all of that up at the end. If you start to mix the standard, you're going to get confused later when you try to add up the total time. So stick with hours and minutes. Keep working through each step of the process. Identify any waste in each step. Remember downtime. If there's waste in that step, put another colored sticky note behind the step. This is a great visual to see just how much waste is in a process. A strange thing happens when you're doing this. People either oversimplify their process by combining steps, so don't do that, or they get uncomfortable with seeing all the waste in the process, so they give a general overview, and don't do that either. Remember, we're not here to see how pretty your process is. This is not a reflection of somebody screwing up or not following directions. So it's not a personal attack on anyone. We're working to investigate the process that's broken and not performing, not the person. It's not Scott's fault that the quoting process takes 12 days to complete. It is the process he's following that is producing an undesirable outcome. Reflect reality. The current state value stream, the way your process looks today, should depict reality as close as possible. If you can't remember how that one part of the process works or looks, then do two things. One, call in an expert. Some people call them an SME or subject matter expert, i.e., the Jimi Hendrix best guitarist ever of your process. They know it inside and out. Number two, go where the work is being done. Walk out of that manufacturing floor to see how the process works. Go to the desk of your internal customer in the finance department. Ask questions nicely, not with that voice or tone. Learn things, and then come back to your map and finish it up. This is called going to the Gemba. Gemba, physically or virtually observing where the work is being done. Read out loud. Once you feel your map is complete, take a break for a few minutes and then read through it again out loud. Because you are so laser focused on each step, one at a time, you may have missed something along the way. You may discover an output you forgot or a downline process that's impacted. Add anything that you may have forgotten and read through it again until it correctly represents your process. Add up the time. The next step is to add up all the time for each process step and determine how much waste or percent there is in your process. Honestly, I usually see 95 to 98% waste in a process when we do a map like this. The time, waste percentage, and map will now serve as your baseline for improvement. Expect to be tired. This can be an emotional journey for some. At the end of the day, many people feel like they have mashed potato brains. You're done. You're spent. Kaput. You don't have anything else to give. Your brain is empty, and that's exactly how we like it. This is hard work, but so worth it. Now it's your turn. Pick a process. Getting the kids ready for school, doing your homework, completing that pain in the butt report at work, creating a contract for a new construction build, or writing up the legal document to create an LLC. Create a value stream map for your process and come to terms with reality. Reality might not be pretty, but it's a great place to start. Now is the time when the magic happens. We come to terms with what things look like today when we start to imagine what could be.